Hello, thanks for coming. Today we're going to do something fairly basic but fairly important. If you have just decided to get a Commodore 64 and you are not familiar with things, there are essentially 3 cables you need to get going. Just imagine you have just picked up a bundle with a monitor and a disk drive and a computer, and you have a bunch of cords in front of you. This could be one of them. Hopefully it is. This would be the cable that connects you to the monitor. Now, if it is a genuine Commodore cable, then the colors on these connectors will match what's on the monitor if it's a genuine Commodore monitor. If it is not a genuine Commodore cable, chances are they will not match. And then what you really need to do is experiment and see what you see and see what you get. Well, perhaps do another video on that at some point. I have never heard of any damage being done by plugging the wrong one of these into basically the audio or video, or on the Commodore monitors, the audio and the 2 video, which are Chroma and Luma. I've never heard of any damage. So, do what you must do. Enough of that, though. Here we have a Commodore 64. And on the back, there is a port marked video. And it has 8 pins on this model, 5 pins on some others. Hopefully whatever cable you get with your machine matches that. So, it's quite simple. There's a little witness mark on the top. You line that up with the top. You put it in. Shaboom, shaboom. Now you're ready to go to the monitor, but we're not going to get there quite yet. When it comes to hooking up the disk drive, you'll find a cable that looks much like this. It's got the 2 ends that look the same, and they will have a 6-pin DIN. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you look inside and count the pins, there are 6 of them. On the back of the disk drive, there are 2 ports. Either one works. Either one is fine. There are 2 so that you can connect more than one device to the serial bus. So what do you do with your Commodore 64 is you look to the port beside the video one marked serial, and you put it in. And then you connect it also to the back of the drive. Excuse me. And everything should be dandy. Now, the other thing, of course, is you need is power. Power, power, power. So here, why is this cable giving me a hard time? What cable is this? Oh, yes. Okay. The other thing, sorry, I forgot. Let me just get the disk drive here. Is the disk drive will also need power. Power. It is a very typical power cord that is found on, lots of things in the Commodore world, but also in the regular world. It's nothing exotic. I've seen people advertise 1541s. They say, don't have the power cord. I'm like, oh. Or don't have the power supply. Well, the power supply is built in on this model. So it's just a simple cord. Anyway, it plugs into the back. As you see from before, which I didn't show, there's the 2 serial ports. Pick one. Doesn't matter which one. Alright. So now we have the disk drive connected to the computer, but we do not have power. Now, here is a thing that is open to great debate in the world. Here I have the original power supply for this computer. It actually has, on this one, it has 4 pins, and they are kind of funnily arranged. 2 on the top, 2 towards the bottom with a bit of an angle to them. The original power supplies for the 64 had all the pins in there, but then they said, hey, we don't need all those pins, which I'm not sure I agree with. But anyway, but here is where the debate comes up is, should we use the original power supply? And because, of course, they're old, and they do, on occasion, go bad in a bad direction. And when they go bad in a bad direction, the computer gets damaged. So it is probably best to get a modern power supply. But at this moment, this one here, I know works, so I'm going to stick it into the side. Now, where do I put it? On the side, there's 2 joystick ports, there's a power switch, there's where you plug it in. And of course, it did originally, looking at this, it was a 7-pin DIN. But they took away some pins early on. So we take the power connector and we plug it in. And now we have a power cable plugged in to the disk drive. We have the 6-pin DIN connecting the computer to the disk drive. We have the 8-pin DIN plug in the back of the 64, which should go to the monitor. The power connector is in. The power connection. The power supply is also plugged into a power bar. The disk drive is plugged into the same power bar. The monitor, you can't see, it's over here. Just a second. I need to get up and plug it in. And as I say, it really doesn't, you can't do harm. I'm hoping I have this right. I'm plugging into the front of a 1702 monitor. I'm going to turn it on. Oh, what have I done? Oh, okay, hang on. The power bar is not turned on. Okay, the power bar is turned on. Have I actually plugged in? Yes, I have. Okay, we'll try that again. Alright, and so we have a simple setup involving 1 power supply, 1 video cable, 1 serial cable, 1 power cord that goes to the disk drive. And if you hook all those up, and the machine is working, and we will do a video on diddling around with the video display, then you should know if your machine works. And really, if you're buying a 64 or a VIC-20 or a 120, even in these COVID times, somehow it's a good thing if you are told that it works, that you should actually see it work. And that doesn't mean just come up on the screen and say, yeah, yeah, because a machine that comes up with its display, which says 64K RAM system, 38,911 bytes free, is probably working. But maybe not. Best to have them stick a cartridge in if they have one, load up a game. But if you can't do any of that, and I mean, a lot of people say, yeah, it worked the last time I had it plugged in. That might have been 30 years ago. Things happen. They do at times. So, best to see it working. Best to try it out, and then go for it. So, that is the basics. There are more things, of course, but that will be, as they say, another story. So, enough of that for now. If you have just got a Commodore 64, I hope you enjoy it. There's lots of great games, and I mean, it was an amazing machine back in the 80s. It's still amazing. So, if you have any questions, my various ways to get in touch with me are in the description on this video. Don't hesitate to write. I'll do my best to answer. I hope if you do buy something that it works, and I hope you enjoy it. So thanks very much for coming. Stay tuned. Many, many, many more videos to come. Bye for now.